We'll just give it like 2-3 minutes. I know some people are taking a while to join in, and we can get started, right?
Okay, no worries. No worries.
Okay, I think we can maybe start with the introductions, and more people are gonna join in, and we can start taking questions a bit later on from the audience. So the way we structure usually our AMAs is that we have two phases. One phase that I'm asking questions to you that I have prepared beforehand. You can share anything you'd like about the project, of course. And in the second stage, we can take a couple of questions from the audience, and we'll selecting two of these that will be winning the AMA, which is $100 giveaway. Does it sound good?
That works.
All right. So could you please introduce yourself and the team behind GGANBU INU?
Okay, personally, I'm a software engineer. I'm not really the main dev because, things happen. I wish it was my project, but it's not mine. And I have been working with the dev, at least at this point, for almost 6 months on the white paper because we had correspondences on Reddit, and then after that we migrated, went to Telegram, had little groups and had little group chats, had little Zoom calls, and then we started working on this idea and how do we build a truly decentralized or democratized actually app store or like digital distribution catalog. And the issue is, working in the industry for the past 6 years, I have noticed that developers really get the underhand. Like most of the revenue that developers generate, I don't know if any of you here has worked as software engineer, but most of the revenue that your app generates goes back to the owners of the app store. At least over 70%, to be honest, goes back to them as advertising. And even the users, most of the data that they have is being sold by platforms like Google and Apple Store to third parties for, I don't know, metric data. And that same data is being sold back even to the users through Google and Analytics and all that. And to me, I didn't think that was a good option. That was a good, I don't know, vision, or like, I don't know if that is the way we want the world to be. And so when he came to me with this idea, I was like, okay, this is something that I want to be a part of because this is something that has true potential.
Got it. And could you tell us more about the other team members, about their backgrounds, and how you all came together? And if you can introduce them as well, that would be perfect.
So we have our main dev. I don't know if I have to like dox him now. I don't know if it's like allowed. I don't know. Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know, because we actually already did a KYC, and
Okay.
he is I think our main dev is a software architect, and then we also have we have a game developer. We have our head marketer. I think he's the guy who wrote to you. Yeah, I think it's like Dev G. And so we are in total 6 members, in this 6 people, but it's a very international team, spread around the world. So we have 2 people in Cameroon, I think. We have a guy from Sweden. Personally, I am here in France. I know my accent, it shows a little bit if I'm not very like American, So it's a very international team. It's very spread out, and we mostly speak through Zoom calls and everything. But we have been together on this for a while, and it seems like a very promising project. And eventually, maybe we could just migrate into the same area, open an office, and like that's a big idea. But let's see how things go. And we really believe in the project and the future of this.
Perfect. So, all right, could you tell us what GGANBU INU is, and a few details about the project?
Okay, GGANBU INU originally comes from the Squid Game movie. Like it means my friend. And the reason why we choose that name is more of a pun, it's more of a pun because if you watch the movie Squid Game, you will see that philosophy of power monopolies where there's a centralization of power, where you have like a kind of a classist society where some people control everything and everybody's like fighting to fit into the narrative of the people who have this power. And so it reflects a lot the way the internet infrastructure now works. It's like a very, very interesting parallel to like the actual internet ecosystem as a whole, not just the crypto space, but everything. Like you have very few companies that amass billions of dollars and that centralize all of these resources. But information, in a lot of ways, it's the new gold, as they say, is a new oil. And a single company having so much control over each and everyone's information, it's not really like, I don't know, but it's not a world I think we should want or aspire to live in. And so that's where the name comes from this need to decentralize or like to democratize more than even decentralize, to democratize information and the internet resources and internet power, basically.
I see. Got it. And so you're building a game, is that right?
We are not building a game. We are building a platform that can host different kind of software applications, mainly a cross-platform digital catalog. What does that mean? That means we can host virtual reality games on like Oculus Quest. We can host like actual iOS and Android games, or even Microsoft or like Microsoft Store games. And the reason why we started with gaming is because this is the most widely accepted form of software distribution in the crypto space. Either in the crypto space, most apps are either games or you have staking platforms, and that's why we decided to go more towards games, because we are more developers than, I don't know, economists. So we started with our strengths, but eventually we intend on moving where people can upload e-commerce platforms, people can upload I don't know, websites, people can upload apps and like different kinds of apps, not just games. But this is just a start. This is like, the build of the beginning of everything. And by the way, we have and the alpha version of our platform is actually live online right now. So after this, you guys can go and check it out. I might post the link in the group. So yeah, like a proof of concept.
Great, amazing. So it's a platform to host games. Any kind of games that you're gonna open and have ready to play on your platform?
Yes. Currently, we have 8 games actually already hosted there. For now, we didn't integrate the payment system yet because, again, it's the alpha version, it's a proof of concept. But eventually, we see it as well, like the way we visualize it is a system where people can come, developers can come, host their games on the platform. That means they build, they send the executed files on the platform, and then users come in, play the games, and or download the games, whatsoever they have to do, just like what the App Store currently does. But the difference here is your data is fully encrypted. You have complete control over the amount of data you generate. That means you are able to see the amount of data that is generated, and you can decide to sell your data for our tokens. And even independent computing resources providers, basically small data centers, can come to us and then give us a server hosting, or we need to buy those from them actually in exchange for tokens. And all of this will be controlled by the government. Sorry, all of this will be controlled and governed by our investors. Not just like, it's not our thing, it is a community, is for our community, basically.
I see. That's very interesting. And you said you have 8 games. Can you name some of them so people know what to expect when they go on your platform?
Oh, the first game is Black Snake. Yeah, it is a game based on a movie. It's a game based on a little French movie. It's a meme. It's a very popular French movie that we have here. Yeah, it's basically adventure style fighter game, like the retro. It gives you a little bit of a retro vibe. Where yeah, and then the second game maybe is like a Gucci grip. It's more like a skateboard game, more like a Subway Surfer type game. That is, it's currently on the platform. Like after this, as I said, I'll post it and then you guys can check it out. We have a little 3D party world game called parties. This is where people like where you have like individual characters that are able to like dance and see who gets the most points, by performing a certain number of moves. So yeah, like we have a couple of them. I can't go through them now because you guys will be surprised. So yeah.
Yeah, good point. And yeah, I've also given you access to post any kind of links you want after the AMA on the chat. So feel free. I'm sure our investors would love to check them out. I'm also, by the way, recording this. So if anyone has missed it, they can just go on our YouTube channel and we'll upload it there. Yeah, and I wanted to move on. We heard a bit about your platform. Can you tell us about your token and what is the role of the token in the platform?
Okay, the token is basically the main escrow solution for this platform. That means every single transaction, in case, let's say someone, for example, comes and he's trying to, and this like an e-commerce app hosted on our platform, the person will not buy the items on that app with money. They are going to buy that with GGANBU INU. And that's why I'm saying, and that's why we intend on integrating a payment system, a payment gateway that doesn't just like have like doesn't just accept crypto tokens, but actually takes in like credit cards and Visa cards and then swaps those credit cards directly, an atomic swap directly from Master, Visa card, and other payment accepted payment gateways into crypto, into GGANBU, sorry, precisely, not crypto. The reason why we're doing this is because we're trying to create mass adoption. The aim is not just to have a little echo chamber in the crypto space, but to have a project that actually fits the larger society, something that can attract non-crypto investors, like regular people, in a sense.
I see. And yeah, that makes sense. So could you tell us a bit about your tokenomics? Because I'm sure investors would love to find out how you're going to handle the tokenomics with your token.
So our tokenomics, we have a very simple tokenomics. We choose 45 billion. It was an arbitrary number, but it's in a little bit like a pawn. Because if you watch the Squid Game movie, as I said, the max supply is 45 billion. And yeah, so we currently have 45 billion as our tokenomics. And then we also have an arbitrary 1% for marketing and development. We also have 1% for charity. And charity in the sense that personally, I have a family member who suffers from diabetes. So that was my first proposal was, why not work with the Open Insulin Foundation? And that's one of our aspirational projects to help make insulin cheaper for everyone, because there has been a real worldwide crisis because of, again, little monopolies spiking up price of insulin. And so that's one of our aspirations in the near future, at least to work with the Open Insulin Foundation. You guys don't know about it, but it's basically a foundation trying to create access to widen the access for production for insulin around the world. So that means small labs around the world can independently produce insulin. So yeah, okay, yeah. So that's just a very short summary of our tokenomics.
Amazing, especially the thing about insulin. I know it's a very noble cause. And could you tell us about the fees? So if someone were to buy your, we're talking what kind of fees should they expect?
The fees are going to be stable, as I said, marketing, development, liquidity, 3% liquidity and 1% marketing and 1% charity. Those are the fees that are going to be aspirational. But at token launch, the fees will be a lot higher for those who want to sell. And the reason why we are increasing the sell fees is to prevent whales from dumping on the project. So we are not going, at least the fees will be for sales at launch will be maybe 10%, to be honest. And the reason for that is to prevent dumps, because we thought of different ways to prevent people from dumping on the project. At first, we were like, we should set the max buy. But the thing is, if someone has 10 accounts, he could just dump with those 10 accounts. He could split the tokens among those 10 accounts and still dump on the project. And so we decided, okay, at launch, the fees will be higher, but eventually those fees will be swapped back to the original 1% as written on the website.
Okay, no, that makes a lot of sense, and I think it's a good idea. And what else can you tell us about your future plans? What's in the roadmap for investors to look forward to?
Currently, as we have agreed, we're intending on releasing the platform as we have already done that, as promised. We also intend on organizing little contests and competitions to keep users interested or to keep the community engaged. And like also, we in the near future, depending on how fast we're able to achieve our goals, we intend on going for Dubai Crypto Expo, and so then we can export, like we can show our community and our project to the wider world and the wider audience. We have in the works. We also have we're also working on getting partnerships with bigger gaming studios, at least for now, and maybe, and eventually we also want to get ambassadors and influencers, because okay, can I continue, or maybe am I too long?
No, go ahead. It's
because most crypto projects that I've seen pump and dump, and even the ones that gain like crazy amount of hype, they always die. And why is that? The reason why they die is because these people do not go to the right audience. They don't target the right audience. They just call random influencers, like, oh, they have a little, I don't know, they have a staking platform, or like I don't know, a platform that enables people to like buy assets, and they get like rappers or like celebrities to shout out these projects. But that is not marketing. We are trying to get actual users for our platform. So we use our investors as generators, are just there to generate income and also governance and guidance for the community. But our investors are not our users. So we are going to move with a completely different marketing strategy, where we go to YouTubers who actually are specialized in tech news, or who the wider audience, the wider world respects their opinion as leaders in tech. Like there's Louis Later, there's tech what's his name? There's Louis Later, there's Firebox, and yeah. So all these YouTubers are more geared towards the kind of audience who are looking for people who are looking for an alternative means to get applications. Even this guy, Mental Outlaw. So we are trying to move towards a more targeted advertising, in a sense, to get more users on the platform.
I see, and that makes sense. And you talked a bit about governance. So you're going to let, I'm assuming, your investors choose how the token is going to evolve. Could you tell us more about that, how they can vote, and is there a minimum number of tokens they need to hold to vote and decide?
For now, it would depend on how the platform evolves, because if you are trying to build an ecosystem, it's not going to be static. And so at the beginning, we are assuming maybe 1 to 2% of the total supply, but it's not yet agreed upon, because the platform is still in development, and right now we have an alpha version. But eventually, investors will be able to decide on which projects we focus on more, on which projects we receive the most resources, in terms of like, okay, does this is this app or game deserving of the resources that we are giving to them? And also, investors will also have rights and an opinion on the kind of charities that we do in the future, because when we say charity wallet of 1%, it's not just a single charitable event. We have to do multiple of them, at least as many as we can. And so that is where the governance comes in, basically, in the platform.
I see, and that's really interesting to know. So, where do you see GGANBU INU in 6 to 12 months? What is the next milestone for you?
The next milestone for us is, first of all, within the next at least month or two, 1 to 2 months, we are trying to build an actual platform. And then over the course of the next 3 months, we are trying to get token listing on like major exchanges, and also integrate our payment system completely, and then start with the YouTuber marketing. And yeah, within the next 12 months, we will be very, very hopefully being at Crypto Expo, talking about this project with the entire team. And yeah, maybe having some members of our community to join us, and yeah, that's the idea, being at Crypto Expo. That is the main aim for the next 6 to 12 months.
All right. And can you think about any kind of risks to your projects that might hinder the growth of GGANBU INU?
Okay, for now, the main risk that we have is the skepticism from the general public towards decentralized applications, because it hasn't yet been accepted by the wider audience, and that's why we are so focused on like integrating payment systems and things like this, because that is the greatest risk, where we cannot get enough users because people don't know about decentralized apps. Right now, decentralized apps are very popular in the crypto space, but outside of crypto, it's a very fickle, like abstract concept to most people. And so that to me is the biggest risk that GGANBU INU faces, because we don't really have competition other than mainstream platforms such as the App Store. As I said, they're not really doing what we are doing, because what we're doing is very specific to this industry.
I see. And, one of the things that investors really want to find out in a new project is about their marketing plans. So could you tell us how you're going to approach marketing to bring more investors into your platform and grow this beyond the initial launch?
For marketing, as I said, we have a very unique approach. We have targeted marketing where we look for users who need our product. Where we are not just hitting any random cloud that we can get, but we're looking for users who actually come to stay. And also we have, for now, once the platform is developed, we are trying to go for a more user-centric approach. So once we are very keen on the feedback given to us by our community and our users at large, because this is how you get users and a loyal community that stays, when you listen to them and you communicate. So a lot of what we have now is going to be iterated and changed over time and modified to fit the needs of the community and the wider audience at large, because this is not our project, it's the community's project, it's the user's project. So we try to look at it from the user's perspective. So what would the user want? So because to me, the most effective marketing is word of mouth, and people only talk about things they care about. And so the only way to make them care about what we are giving them is by listening to their feedback. So primarily, it will be more of a customer-centric service, and eventually, we have influencer marketing and the generic marketing strategies that people use. But yeah, we are combining both of these different systems.
I see. So what I'm gonna do is maybe I have one more question for you, and then we can open up to the audience when we can take a couple of questions. So yeah, could you let us know where our investors can find you? You can also post your social media links on our chat. Where are you more active? Is it Telegram, Discord? Yeah, tell us about your social and your community.
For now, I am more active on Telegram because we are still trying to build a community. So for now, like hit me up on Telegram, and if you go into our chat, all of our devs Telegram accounts are visible. There's no anonymous developer, so you can hit any of us on Telegram. And eventually, as a community migrates, we are going to update all this information, because yeah, we will need to build a stronger base on like Reddit, maybe on Discord. So for now, Telegram is our platform, because we do have a lot of work to do here in terms of building a community.
Yeah, that makes sense, because everyone is on Telegram these days, especially crypto investors. Although we've seen Discord taking off, I haven't explored it yet, but it goes hand in hand with word of mouth that you were talking about, and how virality marketing comes into play, right? All right. So with that in mind, I'm gonna. Do you wanna select one of the participants and we can answer their questions?
Can Superboy ask their question, because he was the first I saw?
Of course. All right. Superboy, you are free to speak and ask your question. Superboy, can you hear us?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
my question. What step does your team take to ensure that user support long term and not temporary? How can your team increase the engagement of our user with your product and project capabilities? Thank you.
Okay, I listen to your question. Oh, okay. As I said, we aim at a customer-centric business model. The reason for this is because hype dies. Eventually, people get bored of hype. To be honest, the most successful products are the most boring ones, are the ones that you use every day without even realizing. Telegram doesn't do advertising, neither does WhatsApp, neither does Instagram. Maybe people come to do advertising on Instagram, but Instagram doesn't advertise itself because sustainability comes from actually caring about what the user wants, and that is the approach we are moving towards. So our platform is going to be modified. We intend on integrating a chat app where people can tell us complaints about the project, complaints about the product, and then we modify not just the users but even the developers and even our investors in our community, because we are very customer and investor centric as a product. And that is how we retain most of our users.
All right, and I'm gonna select now someone. Jacobs, you're now free to speak and ask your question. Can you hear us, Jacob?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello, thank you. That was an amazing, AMA. Very nice discussion. I want to ask a more clear answer about the passive income that we will have when we buy this token. So what are all the possible streams of the passive income? That's all, thank you.
Okay, I've heard your question. For passive income, investors are going to get a percentage as rewards on every single transaction, as I said earlier. In a sense that, okay, when someone comes to upload a game on our platform, they'll pay a fee in GGANBU eventually, like obviously, so not eventually. And this fee, a percentage, 5%, the reward percentage that is put there it wouldn't just come from the token itself, but it will come from every transaction. When developers come to upload their games, when users come to play certain games or download games, or even buy apps or buy clothes or whatsoever app that is also on our platform would have integrated in it the GGANBU token as an escrow solution, such that investors make money on every single transaction that occurs in the platform as rewards, basically.
All right. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Zoro, for the AMA. Is there anything else that you didn't mention or you wanna share with our community?
As I said, we will be organizing an airdrop event after launch, after our project launch, and also there will be a pre-sale this Tuesday. So we are still working on setting up the Unicrypt, but and by the way, we have KYC and audit done. Yeah, we did an audit with RD, and the KYC we did it with Coinscope. Maybe one of the mods can vouch for us, and so yeah, but we'll have a pre-sale coming this Tuesday, by the way.
All right. Could you paste your links in the chat? I've given you access, so you can paste them in the chat. And of course, our members can go to your Telegram and ask any more questions. Thank you again for joining us. It was a pleasure talking to you, and best of luck with GGANBU INU.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice evening. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.